College basketball action. Welcome, everybody. We're talking today to Ross Benjamin for our daily underdog value in college hoops. And very interesting, Ross. There's 3 games you've chosen. And viewers, I'd be remiss if I did not say last Saturday, Ross swept the board 3-0. And he's 14-9-1 in his last 24 picks. And that's 61%. And that spells profit to me. So, hey, let's get another 3-0 Saturday. It sounds good to me, Ross. How's everything on your end?
Everything's great. Let's get some more winners in today, and let's keep this roll going in college basketball with our underdog selections, Mike.
Okay. Fantastic. And we've got 3 games. Vanderbilt is playing Ole Miss. We'll start with that one. Ole Miss is on their home floor, Ross, getting 3 points against a Vanderbilt team that's not so strong on the road. They're 2-5 against the spread on the road. And also, Ole Miss likes home court. They're 8-2 straight up. What is it about this game and this team that you think is going to be a good pick for the underdog +3 on their home court?
Well, I'm going to make this short and sweet, Mike. You brought up a point. Vanderbilt 2-5 against the spread on the road this season. They're actually 1-6 in true road games this year, and that doesn't bode well when you're laying points on the road and you have that kind of futility in away games. So that favors Ole Miss in that situation. In addition to what Mike just alluded to, Ole Miss is 8-2 on their home floor, and the Rebels have shot better than 38% from the three-point line over their last 5 games. That's the great equalizer when it comes to college basketball underdogs. And as Forrest Gump would say, that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to take
I like that.
Ole Miss +3 against Vanderbilt.
I like that. I like that breakdown. Yeah, I also was aware of the fact Ole Miss with their 3-point shooting, especially as of late, last 5 games over 38%. That's huge when you can rely on your perimeter like that. And also, Vanderbilt, the road is not nice to them, and that means they don't have confidence on the road. So I think that might be a good pick. Viewers, you heard it, Ole Miss +3 on their home court. Second game, Ross, is Baylor playing a very, very solid defensive team in West Virginia. Now, they're getting 6.5. Baylor is 2-3 against the spread on the road, and they're going up a very, very well-coached Bob Huggins team. All right, West Virginia at home. You don't think that they're just going to stand their ground against Baylor, or do you think Baylor just might have an inside edge somewhere?
So obviously we're picking underdogs in these videos, so that sort of answers that question. And to answer your question specifically, I do think Baylor will stay in this game throughout. I do think an upset would not be out of the realm of possibility, but we're going to take those points as an additional bonus. Here's my thing here, Mike. Bottom line is this is one of my favorite betting situations. You have 2 teams facing off against each other in the second half of the season. Both teams possess win percentages of 750 or better. The underdog is coming off a straight up and ATS loss. They're facing an opponent coming off a straight up and ATS win. And that's the situation we have here today. In the majority of instances, this precludes itself by having general public betting favoring the team coming off the straight up and ATS win. It's a favorite like West Virginia. And if you look at the betting patterns today, that's sort of held form. And I just like the situation here. I mean, it's shown to be profitable for me over the last 15 years or so, upwards of 64% in this situation. So I'm going to go with Baylor here, plus the 6.5 over West Virginia.
Yeah, those are good facts, and numbers don't lie. And, when you're hitting 61% on underdogs, which is not easy to do, viewers. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people think, picking underdogs to say it's not an easy task at all. Yeah, I think Baylor has confidence too, Ross. They're not afraid to go on the road, and they know how to play this team. And I wonder if it might be a setup game for West Virginia, possibly overlooking it, coming off of that big win. And Baylor, hell, they got a chip on their shoulder. They're coming off a loss, and they want to get back on track. So I think 6.5 is a lot of points to give a Baylor team that's very solid inside and out. So I like that as well. Now moving on to number 3, and this is going to be an interesting game just through and through. All right, North Carolina going to Notre Dame. All right, Notre Dame on their home floor getting 4 points when these two met there last year. All right, Notre Dame got the best of them, but then again, that was a Pat Connaughton team, total different team. All right, UNC, healthy, playing good ball. Are they perhaps overlooking Notre Dame?
I don't know if they're playing good ball, Mike. I mean, their record obviously speaks differently.
Yeah, and
But
I'm
if
not
you
talking
look,
about the last game. Obviously, both these teams are coming off a loss. I'm saying in general as a whole, especially since they got everybody back healthy, playing pretty decent ball.
definitely understood. I mean, and let me just touch upon that point a little more specifically. North Carolina here, first of all, let's look at this opening line before we even get to that particular subject. A number 2 team in the country opens up as a 2.5 point favorite against an unranked opponent. Right there alone should send up a red flag. Of course, as can be predicted, general public sees that kind of scenario and they've jumped all over North Carolina. And since that time, the line has moved to either 3.5 or 4, depending on what sports book you're looking at. This seems to me to be the sucker play of the day, where everybody thinks North Carolina, number 2 team in the country, playing an unranked opponent, and they're only laying 2.5 to open. I'm going to jump all over them. Well, let's look at it differently. This is a North Carolina team. The last 5 games, not only are they coming off a loss in their last game at Louisville, but their last 5 games, Mike, they've shot 38% or less from the field. The only time they exceeded that number was against ACC bottom dweller Boston College in a game at home. So they've really struggled shooting the basketball of late, and that was my point. Understood they've only endured 3 losses this year, and overall, this is an excellent team. If you stop and think about the fact, before this shooting slump, the 11 games prior to this 5-game shooting slump, they shot 50% or better in 10 of those 11 contests. They've shot 50% or better in 14 of 22 games this year. So this shooting slump is a little alarming to me, especially when you're laying points on the road. And as you also touched upon, Notre Dame 11-1 on their home floor this season, a very good shooting team. I really like the Irish in this situation, plus the 4 points at home against North Carolina. And Mike also touched upon, we're 14-9-1 in our last 24 underdog selections. We've also cashed in on 11 outright underdog winners out of those 14 wins. So let's keep this rolling, Mike.
Absolutely. That's a huge stat, and appreciate that. And I like the way you break these games down, Ross. You obviously do your homework, and our viewers are aware of that. I know that UNC, with the 38% the last 5 games, and you see this with talented teams so often, Kentucky being one of them, sometimes they just start to get lax, I believe, because I think they feel in their minds, we can turn it on when we want to turn it on, and that could bite them in the ass, all right? UNC, right now, Notre Dame, Mike Brey, Coach Brey's not happy with his team, as he says, is underachieving because of the talent that's there. All right, let's not forget, this is the same coach that outcoached this coach last year. So even though some of the names have changed with the players, all right, the coach has a game plan for this team, and it's not easy playing in Notre Dame. So I really think there could be an outright win by Notre Dame. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And then when you couple that with your stats, Ross, of what's been happening in the last 5, and I think they're maybe just overlooking them a bit. This could be a setup game. I think you might have nailed this one right on the head. All right, Ross, well, I like it. And this is hopefully going to be another Saturday like last week. Viewers, Ole Miss +3. Don't miss that one at home against Vandy. Baylor getting 6.5 on the road at West Virginia. And Notre Dame on their home court getting 4 against North Carolina. Ross, so good to have you back on. Look forward to talking to you again on Monday. Happy Super Bowl to you. Be safe, beat the book, and come back and see us soon, my friend.
Look forward to it, Mike. Thank you.